Welcome to a new update, and in this relatively short update, we're going to talk about a few altcoins which we have been checking earlier, and we have been seeing that the markets are correcting at this stage. So we're going to look at them and see whether we can still get the exact same levels to get those bounce plays from, and whether other levels are interesting at this point before we dive into the regular updates from tomorrow again. I'm currently in Swellendam. I'm finally getting towards Cape Town again. I have been going through the garden route, and I think that if you are going to travel to South Africa, this is a must go through route. It's amazing, it's stunning. But I'm happy to be back in Camps Bay from tomorrow on. I'll be staying there for a month before I'm going to travel all the way to South Africa for 3 weeks and then going back to the Netherlands. From tomorrow on, regular updates, regular setup, maybe even some live streams as well. Before we continue, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Also check out our Instagram where you can find more content. Check out our free trade letter 3 times per week, all the content you need to actually start building if you have a very small portfolio. If you have a larger portfolio, make sure to check out our premium platform, which you can find in the description beneath. So when we talk about altcoins, I think there are a few that have been doing really well. And the first one I've got on the screen is the graph GRT, which have been accelerating from 5 cents to 22, which is more than a 4x, and has been making a giant run throughout the day, which is when I started to say that you shouldn't be jumping on Fetch, Phantom, and GRT is usually when people start to discuss it a lot. I even get at the peak of Aptos, I got messages from people saying that is it a good time to start buying into Aptos? And it was actually from people that have been into the markets for multiple years already. But once it worked in 2017, the habit stays. So unless they are going making bad decisions over and over again, it's just a habit of people to have this desire to be lazy, to not putting in the efforts, which means that if you don't put in the efforts when you are going into the financial markets, you're also not reaping the rewards because you're increasing the risks without having the actual knowledge to start building. So I got a lot of messages from people saying, no, the graph is going to go further, Fetch is going to go further, Phantom as well. It's not the case. Always be very stable and safe when you come to entries on altcoins, as altcoins are a massive gainer for your portfolio, but they can also be the massive drawdown of your portfolio as those swings are quite high, which means that your volatility in your portfolio does like this. And you want to reduce that, which means that you're going to be patient, disciplined, and therefore waiting for the optimal entries to go through. First one is the graph here. Started to run, as I said, started to rally towards 22 cents. You can see that based on the daily time frame, you actually have two levels. First of all, the one around 13 cents, which might have been getting a front run here, and the second one around 10 cents. So if you dive into the lower time frames, we can technically see that we've got a bounce around this area already, but we do have this rejection. So what's the game plan right now? I think that the entry might be gone here around 14 cents. It gave a bounce of 20 to 25% already. This is a crucial break. So if we fall again and get towards this range here around 13 cents, massive entry zone still. Even if you have been buying here at 14 cents, you are way better off than buying at 20 cents because the risks is just lower. You can easily identify where your trade becomes invalid or where you can use the additional buy add-on. If the markets are going to puke even more, you get the chance at 10 cents, and then you have an average if you use 50-50 of approximately 11.5 cents, which is still way better than buying at 18 cents. If we get here, I think it's an entry zone. If we break through 17.5 and flip, I think it's a tricky one because it requires more of monitoring and requires more of being knowledge into trading, having more experience to actually validate this trade here. But this is the crucial break. If it breaks through, I think we can test the highs. Fetch, we have been discussing this one as well. Hopefully it loads. Yes, there we go. Fetch, we have been discussing this one as well, which have been seeing a tremendous run towards 60 cents, and it starts to fall. I said that this level around 43 cents is a risky, aggressive approach to take the entry, which you generally have to find from lower time frames, especially after such a run. I think that in this run you are validating that trade in a probable way. If we could have had another grind with Bitcoin going up, I think 43 cents would be holding. But based on this, another sweep towards probably 33 cents, and I think I'll be interested based on the daily time frame. Looking at the 4-hour time frame, you can see the exact same. We've got a bounce here, which was only a bounce of 50 to 20%. Then Bitcoin started to roll over, and therefore we started to see the price fall again, which means that we've got this bounce, rejection in a crucial area, which is this block here again, also this block, so you can do both. Same theory. If we fall towards this range around 33 cents, I think you can get an entry for between 40 to 80% is a bounce because we probably are going to run to 53 cents. I think you will be closing it around 45, but this is probably going to be the play. If we crack the area around 45 cents, we can continue running as well. Finally, looking at Phantom, one of the stronger runners, and I think it will just continue running at this point. I marked a few levels here, right? I marked this entire block, which we just nosedive through. We got a bounce here, but that was based on lower time frames, and I've marked this level around 41 cents. So let's go to the lower time frame zone. We can see on the 4-hour that we've had a slight bounce here, right? We've had a slight bounce. We've got this first bounce taken care for a 20% bounce almost. Then rejected here. Ultimate short entry, discussed that the last time. We got here, but immediately rejected the previous support, so the trend continued to fall. And what you do then is that you get stopped out, and then you're going to get towards the area around 40 cents to 41 cents and 35. I think this entire region, and I think you should be hitting buys already, is the go through zone. If we get into this range around 35 to 40 cents, I think you can have a bounce play towards 58 cents. So right now we're getting in the buy the dip zone, and I think that we're getting there nicely. Tuesday is CPI day, which is going to be a big important one. But I think that we're going to continue rallying as those numbers are quite high in the forecast. So always be relatively conservative when it comes to the markets. You will get your entry. That requires patience. I'll be back tomorrow. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Have a good day. Ciao, ciao.